Everybody, I'm back again doing my second video. I hope that this one is a little bit clearer than the last one. I was that was my first one, so it was messed up. I just wanted to do another video to answer some questions that have been asked of me through Facebook and text messages and other things. A lot of people have asked me after I gave my life to Christ, like, what was the process afterwards, and up until now. One of the things that I did was I really started proactively changing the things that I involved myself with, not in a judgmental type attitude, but I started to purge myself of like my friends that I was hanging around, my family, that I was indulging in a lot of ungodly things, partying and stuff like that. It wasn't easy at all. And my phone is going crazy. Hold on a minute. Let me see who this is. Sorry. So, I stopped going to parties and stuff like that. I had to stop drinking. It was gradual, I'm gonna tell you. And then I backslid a couple times. But I stopped hanging out with the same people. And I told them in a nice way, if they asked, that I was really just trying to solidify and grow in my relationship with Christ. And of course, I heard the typical, it doesn't take all of that. God, it doesn't say in the Bible where you can't drink. As a matter of fact, they had wine. Like, I heard everything. But in my heart, I knew that my behavior could not be justified. And that if I wanted to change something, it had to be drastic for me. One of the first things that I did to kind of make up for the time that I would have been hanging out over my friend's house, I started a garden in my backyard. And I'm from Detroit. I live in Detroit off Joy Road. I don't know anything about planting a garden or, my goodness, it was just crazy. I actually went to Walmart and I bought, different seeds and gardening tools. And I found a little portion of my backyard and I started cultivating that area, and it actually grew. Like, I had cucumbers and tomatoes and stuff like that, and then I let it all die when I was done because I don't know, I think I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. But I spent a lot of time doing that. And what else did I do? At that time I was getting like cut on. Like, everybody was talking about how much like how I dressed at church and just all kind of stuff. Everything you could possibly think of that is typically considered a judgment, it came at me. But I decided to, soften my heart a little bit and take what they were saying and look for it in the Bible. Now, maybe it didn't say in the Bible, don't go to the club, but it does say that make sure everything that you do is for the glory of God. And I couldn't figure out where in my life going to the club was glorifying God. It just didn't. So that was one of the things. Another question that was asked of me is, what are some things that I've noticed that are common misconceptions about being a Christian? Oh my goodness. The list can go on and on and on and on and on. I don't even think it's a way to try to explain all of that. One of the biggest misconceptions is that when you get saved, when you give your life to Christ, that everything is going to be great. You're going to prosper financially, or all of these good things are going to happen, and your life is just going to be without any issues, situations, and all that. Yeah, right. If anything, it's increased because you start to have to deal with things. It's like, oh my goodness, whereas I may have once, got bootleg cable, now I have to pay for it, or because my mind is changing, and the way I view how I make my decisions is changing. So yeah, that's a misconception right there. Now, that's not to say that God can't bless you or that he won't. It's just to say that the way that we think that it'll happen, it does not happen like that. And that's not to discourage you from giving your life to Christ, but it should cause you to really evaluate why you say you're a Christian or why you gave your life to Christ. Because if it was just for what was promised, then you may want to ask yourself, is it genuine? Another thing is, I think a big misconception is, or I think it's even a bad example in some cases, of people who walk into church and they go to the altar and give their life to Christ on Sunday, and then by Tuesday, they're preaching to everybody. Everything about them is just completely different. No, it does not work like that. God can move fast because he has moved supernaturally fast in my life, but it's a process of sanctification that you have to go through. And I think through that process of sanctification, you start to learn at different stages of your life what things need to be adjusted to fit where God has you in that season. I think one of the first things, of course, is your actions, the things that you do. And then, of course, how you look. And then it starts to become a heart transplant, for some people, I think. But honestly, it should be from the inside out. What goes on in your heart should cause you to want to change the things that you do, the things that you say, how you look, how you present yourself, your character, your integrity. So that's another one. What else? I don't know. It's so many. It's just I can't think of everything right now. I probably should have been more prepared before I turned the camera on, but we got time. What else? Other than that, I think people are very interested to know, what God is doing in my life. I have just went through what I consider to be the hardest season that I've dealt with since I've been a Christian. Because it has been easy for me to be a Christian for the last 3 or 4 years, because God was just everything just kept getting placed in my hands. Just here, Brandy, here. And just being blessed like that was just amazing. And I was able to see like visible evidence of what God was doing in my life. In this season, I never stopped worshiping. I never stopped praying. I don't feel like I stopped being faithful, but all of the things that I was measuring my success as a Christian by kind of got cut off. And so, yeah, that was hard, because I'm like, oh my goodness, God, what am I doing? Did I do something wrong? Did I make you mad? What happened? And basically, that's been rough. I think I'm coming out of that season. I don't know, but I'm not like going to give up on my relationship with Christ, because that is honestly the most solid thing that I have going right now. Everything else I feel is like I'm on quicksand. I don't know. It could change in a heartbeat, but that, my relationship with Christ, and what I have committed to is not going to change anytime soon, or ever.